well, I had a dream last night. Well, I don't know what it was, but I woke up at like 3:30, and Jessica was in my dream. Also, it was Jessica too, and well, so were other people. But the part that I'm sure Jessica was in it, and like I woke up at 3:30. The Lord woke me up with this dream, and then I haven't slept ever since, except I took the nap. But like in my dream, I feel like we were in Egypt or something, but then me and Jessa were in like a black Civic, and there were like torn pieces of the Bible in the car, and I think I don't know. Yeah, we were in Egypt, so whatever's going on in Egypt right now is like political unrest, uproar, whatever. But like in the dream, me and Jessa were getting ready to go to like some ball or something. We were like just super fixed up for I don't know, for nothing. I don't know what it was, but like. So there's the pieces of the Bible just in my car, but then like when I opened the door to get back for me just to get back in the car, there was this like strong gust of wind that came, and like pieces of the little pieces of paper that were like in my car, they flew out. And then so I closed the door, and then some Muslim guy, I think it's because John texted me and he was saying, I think I'm ministering to Muslim guys right now, but I don't know, or Egyptians or something. But like after that, like when he started yelling at me and Jessa because the papers were getting everywhere. Like he's saying, "You're littering! Stop littering!" And then me and Jess were just like, "What do we do? Like, should we just drive off? Do we hit this guy?" But then, like, I know that's why I'm so thankful. I thought that the fellowship last week was so fitting because, you know, in the dream, like me and Jessa were just like, you know what? Like we opened the door and we're like, you know, Jesus is real. Jesus is truth. And so I was blessed by that, and I don't know, I don't really get dreams like that super often, but I thank God for that because it's just a reminder that, you know, people can say all they want to you, they can kill you, but God is the only person, you know, He can, you know, take your spirit, He can kill your soul, He can send your soul to hell, but people can't do that, even if they, you know, even if they chop your legs off or like your arms or burn your lips together, they can't send your soul or your spirit anywhere. God is in control of that. So, yeah, that's what God put in my heart this morning, and yeah, I just want to share that with you.
Yes. I wish Shane was here, because then I know that we would have a similar testimony, because we went at San Jose State, we have Campus Crusade, and we actually found out that they had an event, so we went yesterday at 12 o'clock, and they had a speaker named Rick James, and he wrote the book Jesus Without Religion. Yeah, Rick James, I know. Because I tried looking him up too, and then like, all that stuff. David Chappelle popped up.
I know, dude.
So,
that's first.
yeah, I know. I laughed too, but he's white. Okay, he's the complete opposite of the Rick James that you're thinking of. And it was just interesting because at San Jose State, how I found out about it was I saw this huge wall. I forgot what color it was. I still forget. It was just like a bright blue or something like that. And then I see they basically just wrote like, what do you think about God? What do you think about Jesus? And then, you know, you see comments on there. Some were like really upsetting or whatnot. And then you see a bunch of people, they're writing verses and stuff like that on there. And so it was really cool. I didn't really know what it was for. So there's a lot of people that don't believe in God, especially when you get to college. So I didn't know if it was an event against religion or like against Christianity, or if it was for, because they've had both. And so I found out it was through Campus Crusade and that it was for God. So then Shane and I got excited, and we went, and he was a really cool speaker. He goes to different colleges. He actually graduated from Trinity, which is a Bible school in Sacramento. Yeah, Steven took a couple classes over there. It's supposed to be super expensive, but anyways, so he was really great. He related how things that Jesus did in the Gospels, how it was justified through the Old Testament. And so I'll just share a couple of examples. I don't want to share too much. But you guys remember where there's the woman who people wanted to throw like stones at her, and then Jesus is writing on the ground, and then he says, the first person that has not sinned, you can cast the first stone. Everybody know what that is, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so if you read carefully, though, you see that it mentions how Jesus is writing on the ground, right? And then he says that to the Pharisees, because they're challenging him about, oh, what does the law say about this? and then it says that he's writing in the ground again. So like when you kind of think of it, it's kind of funny. It's kind of just like Jesus is just sitting there writing on the ground, and then they're talking to him, trying to corner him, and he's still just writing in the ground. But and even till today, they still debate like, oh, what was he writing on the ground? But the speaker was saying that the more important part is that the only time that it mentions someone using their finger to write on something was when in the Old Testament, when God the Father had written the Ten Commandments, which is the law that they were challenging him on. And so he was saying how Jesus, he couldn't just come down to earth and just tell everybody, look, I'm God. You know what I mean? He used different ways to do that. And so he said how these actions, they're showing that he's basically saying he's God without just verbally coming out and saying it. So that was really interesting. And then, what else was it? And then it's interesting how he, when he was talking about Jesus without religion, his point was really just about how religions or like churches, even some Christian places, okay? Even some Christian places, not just Muslim or whatnot, they try to use religion to make a bridge gap to heaven. So if you do this, this, and this, then you'll get to heaven. Okay? But what he was stating from what Jesus was saying was that Jesus is the bridge to heaven. And that the reason why you do all the things like in church, he used it like A, B, C, and D. He said how religions use A, B, C, and D to get to heaven. But if you believe in Jesus, if you're really Christian, Jesus is the one that bridges that gap, but you do A, B, C, and D because of what he did for you. Does that make sense? So the reason why you try to live like a holy and pure life is not necessarily because that's what's going to get you to heaven, but you do it because of what he did for us. You do that as your gratitude. You're thankful for what he did by dying on the cross. And so it was just an interesting way, and the way that he illustrated it was between him and his wife. So when you get married and you're at the altar, you say, I do, hopefully. So hopefully she'll be saying, I do in the near future, okay? And so the I do part is what makes them married in a sense, okay? Just like when we accept Jesus Christ as our personal Savior, that's kind of like our I do. But that doesn't just make the marriage. Everything isn't just fine after you say I do. You have to work on it. You have to do various things to keep that marriage going, to keep it well. And it's just interesting how, even we're supposed to be the bridegroom, right, to Jesus Christ. So it just makes it a parallel. It was really awesome how he drew those scenarios together and illustrated it like that. I've never heard anybody do it that way. So we were super blessed by the speaker. Unfortunately, I had to run straight to work afterwards, so we didn't get to talk to him. But even the Campus Crusade person, I guess they did a follow-up. And so he called me today, and Shane and I were going to try to meet with him on Tuesday. So it's just exciting to be able to attend these things. I encourage all you guys, if you have anything at your schools, or if you want to go ahead and start it up yourself, that would be awesome, that you guys have another outlet as far as, just being able to fellowship with different believers and things like that. So definitely encourage you guys to try to join your Christian clubs, try to do all those things that you can. Yeah? All right, you guys are all falling asleep. So let's